Hello, welcome back. Another episode of comXone. We're going to do part two today of the 2023 Art Gallery of Alberta's Comic and Zine Market. We did part one last week, saw some really cool stuff there, and now we're going to continue. We're in the middle of the 3 episodes that I planned for this one here. We've got some really nice pieces in here. We've only got about a half dozen creators here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 different creators here. But we're going to kind of deep dive into each of the things you see here. But let's just set those aside for just a moment, because we're going to start tonight, like we often do, with some flagrant self-promotion. We got some things going on here. Some flagrant self-promotion here. I'm going to be published in an upcoming anthology I wanted to put out there to everybody. It's called The Set List. It's put together by an artist and creator and musician and writer out of Winnipeg by the name of Nicholas Friesen. I've got a comic. This is a really unique anthology because it's music comics, number one, but there's also a musical component to it. So there are a companion album that's being put alongside this anthology. I believe the companion album will be purely digital. It's fine by me. It's the way things go. It's called The Set List. My particular comic is in the set list number 1. So let's take a look at the set list 2 to start off with. There's a name you may recognize from some previous episodes. And basically, the way this is coming out, it's basically Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 coming out on the same day. Double the fun coming out on the same day. Now, the set list 2 is all black and white. So this is where your black and white comics are going. We got some really great people here, but one I really wanted to point out here is this one called Let's Go to Fucking Hawaii by Cam Hayden and Aaron Navrati. 2 great Calgary artists that I've gotten to know over the last couple of years. Great guys, very nice, very talented. And I've seen some little bits and pieces of the story that they've done, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good. What you can do, I will actually put up, even though this is the flagrant self-promotion, usually nothing comes out on the side here. I am gonna put a little promo here. Originally, this was going to come out on an imprint called Lesser Known Comics, but it's actually going to come out now from Nick's own label. He's got a comic and record label called Inservice. So you'll find this one here. If you follow over to the side there, if you check out the Inservice Comics Instagram page, you'll find the link. It's inservicecomics.bigcartel.com. Let's see if I've got room to put that. Let's make it real big in front of my name. Let's just take my name out. Let's do that. So inservicecomics.bigcartel.com is where you want to go to take a look at this thing. Like I said, there's 2 of them. The second one is all black and white comics. And for my piece, it had some color in it. It's going to be included in the color one, which is the set list volume 1. You will see some great names in here. This Andrew Kozlowski is very talented. Who else is in here? There's some really cool names in here. Lots of new people to me, but also lots of people that are, as I'm kind of seeing their stuff promoted by Nicholas, some really good stuff in there. And I happen to be right here. Joe Hill, the Troubadour Tramp, is my comic. And the song, so it's all about Joe Hill, a labor activist and songwriter from the early 1900s, was jailed and executed in Utah in 1915. So the song that I have in the companion album is actually my adaptation that I did of Joe Hill's song, The Tramp. So my song, Tramp, is an adaptation of the lyrics from that song with a totally original musical composition that I've done. Think it's your 90s industrial mixed with the protest song. 7 minutes long. It just keeps marching forward. It's what it is. I'm in the set list 1. So if you want to check it out and see what it's all about, go to inservicecomics.bigcartel.com. You'll see everything there. And we've got Nick's information just below there. And check out his stuff because he's really good. He puts out a really amazing comic called Unpredictable Olivia C. And what's really cool, now Nick was a really big inspiration to me actually, because when I was thinking about creating this album that I'm doing for our next graphic novel that the song Tramp is a part of, Nick was a big thing that I was thinking about. I was thinking about the album that James O'Barr had for The Crow, and also thinking about what Nick does with these ones here. So whenever Nick puts out a new issue of the Unpredictable Olivia C, there's also music to go with it. He releases at least a song, if not an actual EP to go along with that, which is super cool. It's and he's really good. And the people he surrounds himself with, the other musicians and the singer, they're all very talented. So yeah, definitely check that out. So that's it. Now we're going to get into the actual, we're going to get back into what we're actually here for. As I said earlier, we've got 6 creators here for part 2 of the Art Gallery of Alberta's AGA's Comic and Zine Market 2023, part 2. So the AGA, they're based in Edmonton. They're a really cool gallery, one of the more prestigious ones in the whole province. I'd say probably like the most prestigious in the province. Always putting on lots of cool stuff. So we're going to start today. So the AGA market happens once per year, usually in the spring. We've already covered my pickups and the pickups and trades that I did for the 2024 edition, and now we're going back and catching up on 2023's. We're starting today properly with Kay Hogan. Kay is really cool. I first met Kay back in 2022 doing the Edmonton Comic Expo at the same time. So it was cool to meet them, and I've been slowly picking up pieces from Kay ever since. Here, I actually had a button, a hand-painted button that Kay made. It's up on my corkboard right now. I wear it sometimes when I'm out, and it lives up there. So Kay Hogan does a bunch of zines, but they also do these comics called Fat Cat Life. And they've done a few versions of this. Now, I've shown some Fat Cat Life stuff before, but we're going to delve through everything that we've got here. We're going to start with their Sketch Club number 2 from 2022-2023 at the U of A. So what I like about Kay's is each of these lives very differently. They've got photography-based ones that are more illustrative based, ones that are things from their sketchbooks, and then ones that are kind of like this one here. It's a mix. It's a mix of those things. It's a mix of the photography. It's a mix of the sketching, and put together in this cool collage style. You can see the drawing that Kay made compared to the actual building that they were basing it on. And what's cool in here as well is they are showing stuff off from different locations. And you get, so what Kay does is, Kay is really good at both the architectural style, but also great at human figures, also great at fauna. As we flip through this, look at that, at the Royal Alberta Museum, doing sketches of different insects like the praying mantis. That's cool. Yeah, these are fun to look at. Here's some IKEA stuff at their showroom. Well, look at that. public sculpture, and they've sort of recontextualized it in this sort of alien world. Really cool stuff. This one's here. Every word in the dictionary. A. Starting with A. Got abbess, abbot, abet, abject. Great illustrations here too. Ablution. Ooh, that's a good one. And about. Abs. I love the different styles too. So this looks like it might be Conte crayon on a nice textured paper. That's really cool. Maybe it could be a dry pastel as well. Hard to say. Whenever I see this particular tone, I always think of Conte crayons. Got abscond, absolve, absorb. Ooh, abuse. That's a heavy one. Wow, that's real heavy stuff. Got the Pope's absolution right next to pretty heavy one. Accentuate, acacia, an accessory. Hey Jane, I got you an accessory. To murder. It's a cute little comic. Accident. Accomplice, accolade. Ooh, yeah, I like that. Accordion and accountant. Oh, and accurate with a multimeter. Oh, that's it. Or a or was that? Can't remember the name of it now. Check out the rest at everyword.tumblr.com. Oh, that's cool. A caliper. So go to everyword.tumblr.com and see more of this. I might just do that. I might just do that right now. Let's take a look. Oh, okay. Let's take a look at this. This is cool. Every word in the dictionary. Here's the latest ones from the A series. Acetic, acetate, acerbic, ace, astronaut. These are cool. There's that caliper, really large. Looks like there hasn't been a new one in a while. But that gets tough. Once you get to about 100 of these things, they've done quite a few. I think by the time you get done about 100 of these things, you're like, oh, there's some from 2022. Yeah. And that probably would have been when they put together this this particular one. Cool. That's awesome. I love when there's like something else you can look at. You know, you look at the zine and then there's something for you to go to. I'd like to do more of that. It's very difficult. There's a reason that doesn't happen all the time, that people have a zine or a comic and then they send you somewhere else for it. It's hard to coordinate that stuff. Let's take a look at their set of nudes. Sketches from nude model sessions at Harcourt House. And these are abstract enough that we should be okay. Cool. I miss doing life drawing, actually. It was always fun doing life drawing. It's a weird thing to do, but it's also like the best way to look at the human form and like really study it in like an objective, like a weird, like separated objective way. And just play with styles. This is all pretty clean so far. It's all very tastefully done. Yeah, these are great. Life model drawing is always super cool. It's always funny because depending where you sit in the class, sometimes you get the classic like Greek, they're front on to you or to the side, and sometimes you're just in the back staring at a dude's butt for 25 minutes. You know how it goes. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's take a look at another one here. Ooh, this one here also has a really cool thing that we can take a look at after. Let's see if I can get it close. It's called Feelings and Colors Up Too Close. That's definitely very close. So these are a series of really close-up shots, like the thirst of water being poured, the flow. Oh, that's water flowing. I didn't even notice that this is water flowing over a leaf inside of a, like in a stream bed. I love macro shots, so this one really hits me. I actually, on my office here, just in front of me, so I can see them all the time, I have a series of 8x8 frames. I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17 frames up here with macro shots I've taken over the years from traveling around. There are a few of them that are still empty that I'm waiting to fill with new ones. So macro shots, I'm always looking for a cool macro shot to take. That's awesome. Those pipes. The comfort. It's a dog's fur by the looks of it. The time. Oh, I wonder what that's from. It looks like it might be a weld on a pipe. And the weathering of it. The hypnosis. That's cool. I don't even know how you capture something like that. It's tough. Yeah, it could be ceramic. The rave. The fire. Oh, that's good. So this is pretty amazing because this is a shot not up too close. This is a shot from very far away. This is the sunsets in Alberta. Sometimes we got some real humdingers where it looks like the sky is on fire. And that's what this is. So it's actually very far away, but looks close up. It's pretty cool to play with that. The alien. Oh, look at that. The burn. Oh, my camera is not going to focus on these two. They're too abstract. Sometimes it's so abstract. The insecurity. Oh yeah. Decimated leaf. And the glow. The fractal. Like a natural fractal there. The voyage. So yes, at up too close, the boop. That one's for you, Saxton. The boop. Get the nice cat's nose right up close. Let's get right in there again. That's great. The boop. The boop is pretty good. The boop is pretty good. So at up too close, there are some more photographs there that we can take a look at. So at up too close, we get some additional shots, which is always super cool. Like this one here of these, like, I assume ice crystals on the on a lake or something. Hi, funny buddy. Yeah, these are awesome. So you too can look at your favorite, which is the boop, I hope. The boop. That's the one. You can get the texture of the nose. That's pretty good. Yeah, Kay is awesome. Kay does such wild stuff. I have some really close-up pictures from a camping trip where we were taking photographs of each other's eyes, like the irises of eyes. Send those to him. Okay, and finally, here we are. The Piece de la Resistance. Fat Cat Life version 2. I think I've got a couple of these kicking around. Let me just take a look in the shelf behind me. Yes. Look at this. Look what I found on the shelf here. Another Fat Cat Life one. So I've got a couple of these. And I can't remember what the difference. Are they the same? Are they different? I don't know. They're of different sections. So this is the super special edition, as Kay says. Ah, so this, I bet you has some additional stuff. I wonder if it adds on to this. Let's see, how long is this one? Yes, this one, okay, so yes, this one is 115 pages long. The first volume I have here. And this one, I believe, kind of, is either a collection, but it also adds on. Yeah. So it's got some, where I look at the numbering of it, it looks like they've added on to it and continued it. So cool. So cool. So Fat Cat Life. Let's take a look at a few of these. And I'll keep that just to the side so you can see it. So the comics were drawn with ink pen or dip pen. And the 2023 stuff was drawn in Procreate on an iPad Pro. And the cover is watercolor and ink. Version 2, this is an updated version of the book with all the new comics plus some long lost COVID era ones. Cool. Oh my gosh. I tell you, Kay Hogan is the gift that keeps on giving. Fat Cat Life, you can also follow at fat.cat.life.comics. We'll take a look at that after we flip through this. Tell you, Kay is like bar none the person I've met, the creator I've met, who every single thing you get from them, you're like, and there's more. If you thought that was good, just wait. Here comes more. Yeah, so some long lost COVID comics. Luckily, when you have a cat around it, everything was a little better, right? Let's flip ahead here to the brand new ones. Yeah. The faces of corpse pose during yoga. It's like people doing guitar solos. Let's find some. So the cat doesn't always appear in here, but it often appears. Fat Cat comics, they're very good. Let's look at this one. There we go. Give you the cat content that you desperately want. Cat drinking receptacles. The bubbling brook. The dog's water dish. A huge beer mug. And Nick's bedside glass. Nice. There's a crazy cat trying to get at somebody's plant. Yeah, I love these comics. They're just fun, like slice of life kind of things. Sometimes they're a gag, sometimes they're sort of a little slice of life. Box elder bugs, we see a lot of those. We call them also maple bugs, I think, here in Canada. About these awful, awful bugs. Yeah, these are fun as hell. We'll kind of flip through a few of these here. These are excellent. Let's take a look at this cat one. Magic cat legs. So yeah, there's lots of cool Inktober stuff. Kay always finds a good ability to collect their Inktober stuff together and to show it. Look at this one here in color. Oh, Poopy Pants, I love you so much. I eat your fluffy tummy. I'll eat your little ears. You eat me, I'll eat you. You always have to beware. Cats, the cats giveth, the cats taketh away. These are great. How much are you like a cat? You love the smell of bleach and chlorine. You love to stay up all night and sleep all day, and you get hangry. Yeah, so these are these were the newest comics at the time that I got this a year ago. We're gonna take a look to see if there's some even newer stuff. Yeah, these are awesome. If a human gives you food, you're very grateful. If you give your cat some food, you're just wondering why the hell there isn't more, why it didn't come sooner, and why it doesn't taste better. Yeah, that's Kay Hogan stuff. Let's take a look now at the Fat Cat comics. So definitely follow this. Oh, I'm already following. Good for me. Fat Cat is a Canadian couch potato who likes to make people chuckle. Updated when I can, it says. This one's just from earlier this year, I believe, or just around the turn of the year. Winter Feels. Cool. Yeah, nice work, Kay. As usual, Kay is very good. Kay is very, very talented. Okay. Now we're going to jump into these 3 pieces here from Teddy Edwards, or as you'll find them on the internet, Teddy Kaboom. Now, I've talked about Teddy stuff in the past as well. If you might remember, I've shown off the video game. They're a video game developer as well. They make these really cool little indie games. I showed off a game called Legumi, where you are a little bean character. I showed that off, not too long ago. I've shown it off a couple times. Showed it off back in like a few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago, and previous to that. So Teddy also does zines and comics, which is really cool, and this great postcard, this Recycle or I Die. It's a nice one. We're going to show this one last. This one's very special to me. Put Me on the Belt When Your Mom Isn't Looking, a small comic zine by Teddy Edwards. Beautiful. Great art. Really good style. The coloring work. I mean, we'll take a look at this in a minute, but let's just look at the cover of this and look at the color work on this. The supple is the only word I can have for it. Look at that coloring work. There's something about Teddy's style. It reminds me of the game that just came out, that Thank Goodness You're Here. For some reason, it's got this like almost European feel to me, and I don't know why, but it something about the way Teddy renders characters gives me that feeling. But it's great stuff. I was lucky enough to snag number 17 of 31. Put Me on the Belt When Your Mom Isn't Looking. Now, do it now, while she's trying to find her loyalty card. This little zine is full of unrelated one-off comics I made for one reason or another. One of them was submitted to a publication and rejected. Others were just funny enough things I wanted to get on paper. Others still were forced into existence to fill space in this zine. I challenge you to figure out which are which. They're not presented in any particular order, though I was conscious about arranging them so that when you read one, the next one is kind of an apology for the first one, for the last one. No, I'm smart. No, I can draw. No, I can be funny, etc. But every comic in this book has at least made myself laugh, especially the one with the foot who's trying to buy a hat, but the lady thinks he means a shoe. Tears down my face. If this book makes you cry for any reason, let me know by emailing me at webmaster@teddykaboom.com. While you're there on the internet, you can subscribe to my newsletter. Let's read a couple of these. So let's read the first few here and just see if we can spot what the apology might be. Can you help me find my phone? Did you check under that book? And then underneath, there is a hand. You're supposed to ask me for a hand. Clowns Without Chemistry. My mailman is so fat. Oh, that reminds me of this terrific documentary. What? No. Because you're supposed to. This is funny. This is like, to me, this is Oh, I can think of a better you were supposed to say. So, because of course the other clown is supposed to say, "How fat is he?" Well, I think all men are equal. Well, I think man should be responsible for his own livelihood. Pig, hippie, kids. How about some cereal? What's that? Looks new. Dig in. Mmm, fruity. Every bite's an adventure. At least there's one thing you boys agree on. They're anarchy flakes. And they're dead now. Grab yourself a big bowl of anarchy flakes. Oh my goodness. Let's jump ahead a bit. These are good. Oh yeah. I love there's lots of different styles in this. So you can see the difference between, there's fine line stuff and then there's fully sort of black and white colored ones. Oh, here's the one. Here's the foot. I really want to show the foot one. Hello, I'm interested in procuring a hat. Don't you mean a shoe? He's so indignant. How dare you? These are great. I love little compilation comics like this. I'm always amazed when people are able to come up with a short comic that has this like that setup, a punchline, and can do it in just a few panels. That's pretty wild. There's this security guard at the mall. We share little moments. Whenever our eyes meet, he looks at his feet. And I steal some earbuds. I like that one a lot. I love this great love story. This great love story. I love that the security guard is smitten with me because I'm able to steal more stuff. Oh God. These are great. Teddy's great. These are great. Let's read one more. I was drinking a coffee and can I get this to show it to you nice and crisp? I gotta get it up close. I gotta get it up close. Let's get it up close. There we go. I was drinking a coffee, and by some miracle of science, the air, fluid, plastic, and flesh arranged themselves in such a way to make a sound identical to an old-time radio organist, warning me of the impending drama. Startled, I spill on myself. I could not reproduce the sound, and no drama ever appeared that I could perceive. Yeah, Teddy Kaboom. That's awesome. Really awesome. Now, the reason I wanted to leave this to last, I'm not sure if it's going to work. You never know about Twitch and YouTube and all the rest and camera things and everything else. These are flip books. I love flip books. One of my favorite things I ever did in college was an assignment doing a flip book. This is even better. It's 2 flip books. Let's look at high praise to start with. Now, this isn't, we'll see if this works. We're going to flip through it. You're amazing. So I love flip books. I love that you can, I just love the tactile nature, the interactivity. Um, yeah, and you can flip it slow and take it in. Don't cheat by looking at the other side. I love that his head pops and then a little hand comes up. It's very good. Now, tough love. If you didn't cheat and look at the other side. Well, hello. Be nicer to yourself. Now, this one's really amazing. I'm going to flip this one pretty quick now. The motion that Teddy gets on this is so good. Coming through the door, looking at you, and the shaking the head kills me. It's so good. Yeah, amazing. I love flip books. I need to, boy, I need to just buckle down and just make an entire series of them. Speaking of series, Emily Fyfe has made a series called No Exit. I don't have the second one yet, but I have the first one. I'll have to look through. I don't think I've traded for the second one yet. Maybe I have. It's hard to remember sometimes. But these are stories of real life in Alberta. So what Emily does is takes their own stories and stories from others about rural life in Alberta. It's not always easy. It's not always a comfortable experience growing up rural. And this delves into that. I think I also have I have a nice card or bookmark. Yes, I've got a lovely bookmark that they've created as well. So what Emily does is illustrates these through lino cuts. So these are, I think, yes, I'm pretty sure these are lino cuts and not wood cuts. It can be hard for me to tell the difference. I'm sure to a lot of people it's not hard at all. But for me, sometimes I look at a lino cut and I mistake it for a wood cut. I'm pretty sure these are lino cuts. One of my favorite cuts is the lino cut. So let's read some of this. So this zine contains material that may be distressing to some readers. I've lived in rural Alberta since I was 4 years old. I went to Darwell Elementary School about 10 minutes away. Darwell consists of the school, a gas station, a restaurant, and a fairground that is used once a year. I was isolated to our small acreage when I wasn't at school. Visiting family or buying anything we needed usually required about an hour of travel. I eventually went to high school in a small town called Onaway. By car, it was a 40-minute drive, but I had to take the hour-and-a-half bus ride. Starting high school was when I began to see the problems with where I lived. I lost 3 hours a day to a bumpy bus ride that I couldn't do homework on. There were a few times in the winter when the bus heater wouldn't work, and Alberta winters are extremely cold. I didn't have that many choices for classes, and the ones I did have had very little funding. I became serious as an artist in high school, but it's hard to be serious when you only have molding paint at your disposal. It was hard to ignore how narrow-minded the mentality of most of my classmates were. I had many experiences feeling like an outsider, from small experiences like judgment for the music I listened to or the clothes I wore, to bigger ones like the vandalization of my mural. For an art class, we were assigned to paint small murals of something we were passionate about. I chose feminism and painted the image of a girl accompanied with the message, "We are not objects." As a young woman, it was horrifying to come back to the mural a few days later after finishing to see the word "not" spray painted over. I lived out the stereotype and left rural Alberta for the big city to attend Alberta University of the Arts in Calgary. It was a short-lived experience, though, as the COVID-19 pandemic forced me to return home. The pandemic has been difficult for both rural and urban dwellers, but I believe the isolation felt in rural areas is even worse. We didn't have neighbors across the street that we could wave to from our window. My mental health was probably the worst it's ever been in my life. To escape my house for the few hours each day, I would walk down the gravel road to the no exit sign before the highway. The sign became a personal symbol for how isolating and stifling the country can feel, both during the pandemic and in general. Emily Fyfe, creator of No Exit. Yeah, so this is a really quite amazing series. Right now, Emily is actually soliciting stories for the next, which is No Exit 3. They're soliciting stories of rural Alberta. I'm from rural Saskatchewan, so I don't, unfortunately, that precludes me from telling all the horrifying stories of my small town. Let's flip through these a little bit, and we'll read a couple of these entries as we go. Beautiful, just beautiful line work on this. Let's read the next entry, let's say. Oh yeah, it's a sign. This is from that. Let's read this particular one. Now we're going to lack a little context because I've skipped a lot of them, but I'm going to read you this particular entry. I have a reading and writing disorder, and that made school very difficult when I was a kid. There were never enough education assistants, or EAs, for every class. Teachers always pushed for kids to ask for help if it was needed, but for some reason they never wanted to help me. That was always an EA's job. Getting help was always difficult for me, and because my disorder isn't as visible as other kids with things like autism, Asperger's, Tourette's, or etc., a lot of the teachers thought I didn't need help, or if I asked for help, that I was faking it. I remember instead of helping all the kids with learning disorders individually, they would always herd us all together, like cattle, then put us in a separate room and have us work in there instead. Like separating us from the neurotypical kids was somehow going to help us. Sometimes they would leave an EA with us, but most of the time we were left alone. Small town schools really suck if you're not straight, white, cis, neurotypical, skinny, and hot. My whole life I thought I was straight because being gay wasn't an option. I was bullied enough for being ugly, fat, and special with a capital R. I couldn't give them anything else to hurt me with. In high school, I knew something was up and I started a GSA, or a gay straight alliance, or gender sexuality alliance, to hopefully find LGBTQ people to help me learn and to unite us and make us stronger, but it flopped because instead of creating a safe place for us, I only ended up creating a bigger target. A common theme in small towns is that there's nothing for kids to do, so they do drugs. For a Christian town so hell-bent on being pure, the sheer number of drugs and sex going on in back alleys and dark corners is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it makes sense because their sex education was horrible and drug awareness assemblies were probably worse. Thing is, it's not like they weren't aware of it. There's police officers that see these kids walking around with crack pipes and blunts, but the police don't care. They go up to the kids and patronizingly tell them that drugs are bad and they shouldn't do them. Then they go on their merry way. That is, of course, unless someone complains. That's the only way things get done. Kids are dying, getting raped, abused, blackmailed, and they don't care unless Margaret says they're partying too hard next door, or Carolyn gets all huffy that they trampled her petunias. Yeah, the reality of small town life. It's not easy. It takes a really strong person though to open up this much and be vulnerable. The writing is superb as well. I hope it came through in my reading of it. The writing of this thing and the inside look you get at Emily's life is really powerful. Let's should we read this one or should we read the next one? Maybe I'll read a slightly shorter one. Oh, here we go. Here's a good one. After graduating high school, I decided to enroll in Olds College for the fashion design / marketing program. A good friend of mine also decided to enroll with me. So these stories here are not all Emily. These ones they're submitted by folks, and Emily is doing the prints for them. So as you notice here, it's about going to Olds College, and Emily they mentioned went to Calgary. A good friend of mine also decided to enroll with me. This would be the first time either of us would spend any substantial amount of time in a small Alberta town. The culture shock was real for both of us, and we both felt quite isolated during our time there. I'm Hispanic and my friend is Jamaican. We were both young and naive. I did not understand a lot of the interactions we experienced during our time there. One day we went to a local shop. I remember that I did not feel welcomed, and my friend even less so. Within the classrooms, things felt pretty normal. However, there was a definite change once we ventured out into town. I used to question if it was in my head. Maybe I was being sensitive. Maybe it was part of getting used to being away from home. I don't know if things have changed since I was there. It has been over a decade. During our time there, I remember seeing two people of color, and one of them was visiting from Edmonton. We were both happy to come back to Calgary with no desire to return to small town living. Yeah, so the writing caliber from all the people who have sent in these stories, because these stories are all, like I said, sent in by um, by different people. They're all amazing stories, and they make your heart hurt, but they're important to read. Um, because we often tell ourselves, everywhere, but particularly in Canada here, we like to tell ourselves we're not like, we're not like those folks down in the States. We're not so bigoted. We're not so prejudiced. Bullshit. The things I could tell you from my small town and from other small towns would make your toes curl with disgust. The amount of slurs thrown around with very little regard is quite something. Let's read one more here. Living in rural Alberta has its disadvantages like everything, but the biggest issue I have is with how far you are from everything. For example, to run errands, you have to drive anywhere from 30 minutes to 2 hours, depending on your location or what you have to do. For me, I have an hour commute to work every day, which isn't so bad in the summer, but during the winter, it can pose challenges. When the roads are bad, I have to worry about being late. So instead of getting up an hour and a half before I'm supposed to start work, I have to get up 2 or 2.5 hours to get myself time for varying road conditions. Yeah. This is a cool book. I'm gonna have to check to see if I have Exit Part 2. No, sorry, pardon me. No Exit Part 2. Let's read the finishing part here. The first version of No Exit was created in February of 2021 and explored the issues of rural living through mostly statistics from across Canada. This version contains the stories of 12 individuals from across the province of Alberta. I would like to thank all the individuals who contributed stories to No Exit. Your stories are all heartbreaking in their own way, and I relate to many of them. I hope through the creation of this zine that attention is drawn to the issues we face living in rural Alberta and the changes that can be made to our schools, emergency services, and communities. To any readers who may have experienced or are currently experiencing themselves in a similar situation mentioned in No Exit, know that you're not alone and there are resources available. And we've got some really great, these are pretty Canada and Alberta centric, but you've got the Alberta Addictions Helpline, the Mental Health Helpline, Family Violence Info Line, Kids Help Phone, which is nationwide. A few of these are nationwide. Alberta Council of Women's Shelters, the Canada Suicide Prevention Service, and you can always go to Alberta Health Services until they remake the Alberta Health Services, which is happening right now. Yeah, pretty amazing. Yeah, I'll have to see if I have No Exit Part 2. I may or may not. I may have shown it on a previous edition of this. Because I think I've shown some of Emily's stuff previously. I'll have to check and remind myself. Beautiful piece. Okay. We've got 2 more creators. Yeah, 2 more. This next creator, you're going to love this. If you, oh, sorry, 3 creators. 3 creators. Oh my goodness. Great. A cornucopia. Our next creator here is Haley Brown. Haley Brown, if you follow them, often does live videos on Instagram. I haven't had a chance to check any of them out, but they also just, I can't remember if it's released yet or not, but they were working on a beautiful full-length sort of, I think it's sort of a pseudo children's book, but it would be amazing for anyone. We may have to take a look at Haley's Instagram too, so I can show you some more of that because it's really quite spectacular. This one's going to be tough to show. It's very tiny. Oh boy, I am like right up here. It's called Personal Growth. Here's our little friend going up. What the fuck? and then emerging. Wow, that was gross. Okay, you're not who I thought. Well, I don't like it. Ooh, I really don't get it, but I'm proud of you. What have I done? Whoa. And then the rest, I'll jump into it. Damn it, I hate it. You, It's cute. This is the size of it. It's so tiny. I love it because it's called personal growth, and it's about this caterpillar turning into a butterfly. And it's sort of caterpillar sized. Quite cute. Beautiful little piece. Let's jump next into the Fairy Woman. Here we've got the Fairy Woman taking someone across. How could anyone live like this? It's awful down here. I'm a burden to society. Who could love me anymore? I'm useless now. She takes them across. Can I get it? Is it gonna? Sometimes this camera just decides that it's just not gonna do it. It just won't do it. What if I, whoop, you gotta surprise it sometimes. There we go. You're welcome. Nobody pays the toll. But this one does. Would you be willing to take me part of the way? What's it like for you? It's a cool little story. I want to see more of this. I want to see more of the adventures of the Fairy Woman. Here we've got A Home for Little Tree, a tiny story by Haley Brown. The birds told me about houses in town. Moon, I want a house. Little tree, you don't want a house. I do want a house. I'm lonely, Moon. I want to be safe and protected and cared for, and I want to go inside and lock the door and look out the window. You don't want a house. I want a house. Do you know what houses are made of? I want a house. Do you know why you're the only tree in this clearing? No. Little tree, I think what you want is a home, a place to belong, a place to feel safe and loved and cared for. I know what you mean. It's okay to want that. Little tree, do you see the moss on your trunk? Feel the mushrooms on your bark, the birds in your branches? You are a home. But what is my home? Wow. That's a hell of a zine. I love that one. Yes, let's take a look at Wings now. Short story. So I'm going to show you some other work from Haley, and you're going to recognize this style of this little fairy. The larger piece they're doing. Here we've got our little fairy creature finding a little lost chick, growing them from a tiny little baby to something bigger than themselves. As the bird gets ready to break on its own, fly away, makes her quite sad. But she nurtures a plant, watch it grow to a tree, and her bird returns. They fly off together. Beautiful. Just beautiful. That's great. Everyday Magical Thinking is a miniature introduction by Fairy Cricket via Haley Brown. Hello and congratulations. By simply taking the time to open up this little zine and have a look, you've already completed step 1 of any practice in magical thinking, which is to say, you have already shown yourself to be willing and curious. Reframe. When I visit the human realm, I am frequently surprised to discover that human beings do not consider themselves to be magical. Try this. Grab a pencil and draw something. Now tell me this. How is that pencil any different than a magic wand if you can use it to make something appear that didn't exist before? A lot of human beings think that they need to go outside of themselves or their world to find magic, when often it's already under their nose. With time and practice, you can notice the magic in what's around you. What's something you pass by every day that could be a portal? Gather inspiration all the time. Observe and collect. Listen and connect. Having conversations with more than human beings is a great way to practice everyday magical thinking. You can use words or just your mind. Remember that listening is an important part of any connection. Holding complexity. You know what I say sometimes if someone tells me that magic isn't real? I say there are different kinds of real and lots of types of magic. A math equation and a poem can both be true. And luckily, we don't have to choose between them because the world is made of both. Play. A lot of people know how to do this already, and some people just need help remembering. Humans find it harder than fairies because humans experience time, and they don't often give themselves enough of it to let their minds wander enough to surprise themselves. I hope you enjoyed this brief introduction. I made it because I thought humans might like some help remembering about imagination, creativity, courage, and love. And I thought magical thinking might be useful. I love you. Cool. So you can, you can visit www. Well, come on. Gotta surprise it. Once in a while, I gotta surprise the camera. Come on. Well, maybe it's not gonna do it. There we go. Fairycricket.com. www.fairycricket.com. Go check that out. And you'll find more magical thinking. Let's take a quick look at, so you may recognize this from this sort of style from the Wings one. They've been working on the Ground Fairy. As they say here, it's a 32-page graphic short story and letter to their kid self. And they had it on Kickstarter. And that was a while back. I unfortunately I didn't learn about the Kickstarter early enough, but all the pieces I've seen from it, all the mock-ups that they've had and things, just amazing. Really quite impressive. And I love Haley's style. These little fairy creatures are so nicely put together. Very cute. Very cool. Okay. Next one is Jasmine Hume. I've got 3 pieces here. One is there. I wanted to show this because it has another illustration by Jazz. They do some great illustrations. These stickers here, I was able to get some stickers. Can I get it to focus? I can. Some stickers. This beautiful illustration here. Very nice. Now this piece I've shown previously. I'm pretty sure I have Spacey. Sometimes you end up with doubles. What I do is when I discover I've got doubles of things, because I do a lot of trades, I put the doubles aside and then I try to give them away or put them into the free little libraries or something and spread that around. This one here is called Spacey. I have shown this before, but I'm going to show it again because I like it a whole lot. So this is Jazz telling a story about being in art college, doing an assignment to do a concept redesign of a movie or game. She said, oh, good, I'll do Titanic, but in space. There. Modernized Titanic in space, set in our time with advanced tech. But when you go to the critique, it needs to be more spacey. How so? Just more spacey. Yeah, more spacey. Spacey, more spacey. What do you mean by that exactly? Spacey. How? Spacey. Well, some examples would help. Just make it more spacey. Make it spacey. Sometimes critiques don't result in a lot of good feedback. You can follow Jasmine at Jazz Draws Art, and you'll find all sorts of stuff because, like I said, they do zines and comics. They do great stickers, and I think maybe some postcards and things as well, if I remember correctly, and also amazing illustration work. Really good stuff. I enjoy their stuff quite a bit. And finally, last one of the night is Nicole. Nicole Gruszecki is one of the most imaginative zine creators that I know, and the output that they do is second to none. I can't believe it. Every time I see Nicole, I say, so what's new? And they show me, I swear, sometimes it's 15 zines. It's an amazing amount of zine output comes from Nicole. This one here is super cool. It's called Sex. And it is about your sort of original British anarchy punks, anarcho-punks. Even comes with a couple of safety pins to put on your leather jacket or your jean jacket, which I love. It comes with a couple of these. So it comes with a couple of classic clothespins or safety pins, pardon me. And every single page in this is going to blow your mind. Every single one is like a collaged diorama. I've already read through this one. There's nothing too bawdy in it, just bawdy enough. But it's about, the alternative fashions, alternative lifestyles of your especially like your British or New York style punks. There's no nudity in it. There's a mannequin with a pretty hardcore piece on them. But yeah, it's amazing. Each of these is their own. Get Sid Vicious there. Each of these is its own diorama. Look at that. Each of those are pretty cool. And what I love about it is you can kind of open it up. Almost like, I'm almost tempted to put the safety pin in it here and have it live as this carousel monument to UK punk, early days punk. It's super cool. And the amount of work that goes into putting this together, like the amount of pasting and folding, really cool. Save those safety pins for later. And here we've got, it's pretty amazing. Here's your set of creature features. I love these. It's the it's 5 series of the series that Nicole calls Creature Feature, which is about their favorite horror movies. We got a ghoulie on the front of it. No, not a ghoulie. Not a ghoulie. That's not a ghoulie, Charles. That's oh my god, it escapes me now. It's one of my favorites. I can't remember the name of it. It's not a ghoulie though. Critter. That's a critter. The Critter series. One of my favorites when I was a kid. There's a gremlin. And Gremlins 2, I believe. There's a ghoulie. Oh, the Munchies. I don't know the Munchies. Yeah. Nicole also has an Etsy. I can't remember if they still have the Etsy or not. I think they do. Yeah, Critters is one of my favorites. Hey, there's Chucky. Annabelle. Oh yeah, getting more recent in this one. Annabelle, the creepy doll from the Conjuring series. Coraline. Oh yeah, I didn't actually really gel with the Coraline movie, but it is amazing premise. Oh, and Billy. Billy is from he's a ventriloquist dummy. I can't remember what series that one's from. Gonna have to think on that one. Here's number 3. Got Jaws on the front. Good one. Oh, the Piranha series. They're goofy. They're goofy and fun. Oh, Crawl, which is the Killer Croc. Oh, I don't actually know which one this one's from. The Killer Giant Squid. I'm gonna have to look these up. Oh, these look like the creatures from the Sinbad and the Harryhausen stop motion ones for I think it was from Sinbad or it was from Jason and the Argonauts. One of those two. Oh, yes, this one's all Harryhausen stuff. So the Cyclops is another stop motion animated one. And the Hydra, yeah. Gwangi. I don't know Gwangi. Is that maybe from The Host, which is a I don't think it is, but this looks similar to the monster from The Host, which is a Korean movie. I'm not sure what Gwangi's from. I get to have to do my homework. Series 5, we got a Dalek on the front. The Weeping Angel from Doctor Who. From the more recent ones. I only know of it because of the internet. The Ood. Cyberman, which is an older, I think the Cyberman's from the older ones. Yeah, so you get Doctor Who ones in this one. Neat. The only Doctor Who stuff I know, though, is like from 50 years ago. I haven't kept up with that series at all. Yeah, these are great. Beautiful. And I love that Nicole packaged it with some double bubble gum. So it's got the smell of a like a card pack back when you used to get bubble gum in your card packs. Cool. Okay, that's everybody. Let's take a quick recap of what we looked through today. Going from back to front, we had, of course, Nicole's zines that we just looked at. We had 3 pieces here from Jasmine Hume. We had a whole cornucopia of things from Haley Brown. This really quite affecting piece called No Exit. I can't wait to see the 3rd one when it comes out. A few pieces here from Teddy Kaboom, Teddy Edwards. And we started the day with all these wonderful pieces from Kay Hogan from Edmonton. Excellent. So thanks to everybody. As usual, if you're watching this on YouTube where it ends up, I do these live on Twitch. You can always check me out on Twitch and see these live, ask questions about things, and check these out live and do that. If you're watching this on Twitch, this ends up on YouTube. So you can always find the full collection of my comXone ones, even back before it was branded quite like this, is all up on YouTube. I have it all archived on there. So thank you very much, everybody. We're gonna move on to some other things now. Next week, we're doing part 3. So this is just one of 3 parts. Last week we did part 1. This is part 2. Part 3 next week, and we'll be wrapping up all the things I got at the AGA Comic and Zine Market from 2023. I can't wait till the next one. The 2024 one was also really great, so I can't wait to do it again. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you on the next episode of comXone.